Okay, it says this meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Yay, we've got a live. Perfect. Hi. Welcome, everyone. It's Christina and my beautiful friend, naturopath, Biz Baddie. She's in my mastermind. Her name is Dr. Lauren, and today I asked her to come on live today for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, it's been just a dream of mine for years to create a network of women entrepreneurs that are just baddies, honestly. Like, not even like my biz besties, but they're just baddies. They are 10 out of 10, highly recommend. And so Dr. Lauren is one of those people. And I've had this dream in my heart to interview other entrepreneurs and bring resources to my community that I have known, liked, trusted, vetted, and that would bring meaningful change to our industries. So today I have Dr. Lauren on deck. I'm so happy.
Hey.
So happy. And I see a bunch of people are joining us live already. I see Haley. I see my mom, Mary Kay. I see Anna Hostetler. Is it Hostetler or Hostetler? I can, everyone's is different. Anyways, comments. Um, but I want to just drop in this whole Oprah vibe because did you grow up watching Oprah?
Yes, my mom was a huge fan.
Same. Same. And I remember like almost every day coming home from school and turning on at 4 p.m., just hitting, the Oprah show. And there was always meaningful conversations happening where you walked away going like, okay, I feel like I'm either inspired, I'm changed, like I got something out of that. I feel more smarter, right? If that's even the way to say it. And that's the feeling that I want out of these Biz Baddie series interviews. So I want to introduce my friend, Dr. Lauren. She's one of my Biz Baddies. Dr. Lauren, tell us who you are, where you're from.
Well, my name is Dr. Lauren. And I live in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So I see my clients virtually, but that's that's where that's where I reside at.
And we're like 20 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Means I get to see you more than most people. I love that. Can you tell us about your area of expertise?
Well, my area of expertise is helping people go from unhealthy to healthy and guiding them in that journey. Um, I like kind of my journey started where it was just about my family, and having a healthier family, and that slowly progressed into what I do today over the past 20 years, helping my clients get healthier, change, uh, yeah, get healthier. That's what I would say.
I love it. That's a simple way of saying it.
Yeah.
And what's your degree? What's your area of expertise in the medical space?
So I'm a doctor of naturopathy. So that means I look at the body as a whole,
Yeah.
and I get to the root of what's going on versus chasing symptoms, which most doctors do that. They chase symptoms. And so a lot of the protocols, a lot of the guidance I give my clients is let's get to the root cause. Let's find out what's going on and start there.
I love that.
It's a different approach. A lot of people are like, well, why are you having me do this? Because I'm not chasing symptoms. We want to end this cycle of illness, sickness, disease.
Yeah. So I'm really naturally inclined. I'm somebody that, probably I was 14 years old, I was spending the summers at my aunt's house, and
Mhm.
she had this big bookshelf full of stuff about natural living. And I remember reading like Dr. Andrew Weil and like other authors back as a teenager. I became a vegetarian for a decade because I was interested in not eating things that would give me, health symptoms later, which I'm obviously not a vegetarian anymore, but I just want to say like I've always had this appreciation for natural health whenever I would get, sick when I was younger. My family they went the more Western medicine route. And I was a kid that grew up having pneumonia every winter for 8 years. And so if you can imagine addressing pneumonia in a child, because it would start at like as like a bronchitis and it would turn into pneumonia. So my family had me on rounds after rounds after rounds of stuff to address that, which then led to a lot of issues later. So then in my teen years, when I started learning about natural health, I just became curious, like how much of this could I prevent by living well and being more active and being more cognizant about what kind of things I put on my body. That took me into working for Aveda, like Aveda salons and spas, more naturally, minded salons and spas, even in my beauty career. So I've always had this curiosity and appreciation towards preventative health and
Mhm.
things of that nature. How did you become someone who got interested in going the naturopathy or the naturopathic doctor route?
Yeah. Well, it all started like over 20 years ago with my mom, and she got a diagnosis of cancer, and it was a shocker. It was a shock wave that went through our entire family. And I call it my awakening. It literally awakened me to the fact that this could be my destiny if I don't shift things. A lot of people say, it's all based off of genetics, but it's not. It's about our lifestyle. We live in the same households as our family members. We take on those same habits
Yeah.
and we go down that same route. So we end up with those same diagnoses if we don't shift and change. And so at that moment, I was like, we're shifting, we're changing some things. We have to. And I went to my husband and was like, hey, we got to do something. He agreed. He was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we literally shift and changed everything in our household. We did it cold turkey. Like,
What did that look like?
it was pretty much like we said this day, we are no longer buying this food, these items. We just said we're no longer buying it anymore. And we traveled far to go to a farmer's market to get our food. Like because back then, it wasn't really like in to be eating organically and healthy. It just wasn't the in thing. I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. So we just sacrificed a lot of our time to do it. And we went cold turkey, and we really haven't turned back. We've had trial and error, but since then we haven't turned back from doing that, and pursuing health since then. And then after a while, everyone's coming to me. How do I do this? How do I do that? What, you know, I'm dealing
Me,
with
I'm
this
everyone.
thing.
Me, I'm everyone.
How do I deal with this sickness? Hey, this person's sick in my family. What do I? And I was like, you know what? I need to go get professionally trained.
Yes, ma'am.
So
I remember, I remember this. So you and I were friends. We had met at a business conference, maybe like in 2015 or something like that. I
Mhm.
moved over here to Georgia in 2016, and we were living like 20 minutes apart. And we have several friends who are also entrepreneurs. We meet up in the area. And so we were kind of seeing each other in passing and started kind of hanging out back then. Like not really hanging out, just kind of hanging out here and there. And I remember thinking that, like, okay, this lady is very naturopathic. Like, she would bring the healthy stuff to the potluck. Her kids were always with her. They were healthy, vibrant. And we just started talking about life and stuff. And I was like, oh, like, I really love her approach. And I remember when you told me that you were going to go and get your whole degree in like naturopathic medicine, and I wanted to do it the same time, like so bad. I still have it saved as like a pin on the top of my computer, like the place that you studied. And it was just there, it just wasn't the right moment and it wasn't the right thing for me. I was doing my entrepreneurial journey, but I remember when you started actually getting the documentation, the paperwork to call yourself a doctor, which was so cool to me. So in that process, what has happened?
So through the process, I have been reaching more people, um, and learned so much. Like, I thought I knew a lot. I know so much more since then. And it has literally revolutionized just my entire life, and seeing people like their health literally transformed. I don't know, it does something to my heart. Like
Mhm.
the testimonials that come, it just does something to me. And I'm like, this is what I was made for. And so it was really interesting because we would go on our walks all the time. And you were like, you need to get out there. You need to get this on the internet.
Okay, wait. So pause this. So Dr. Lauren became Dr. Lauren, and I remember knowing her in that years of process when she was in her studies, writing her thesis papers, getting all of her stuff done. And I remember thinking, yeah, it's probably a good idea that I didn't go try and do that too, because I was building my companies and doing the entrepreneurial thing.
Mhm.
So over the course of some years, she went through all of her stuff, and we started hanging out more, especially when I decided to have kids. So I got pregnant and I was just like, I want to be active and I want to have a really holistic pregnancy. I maybe knew a handful of like 5 women. They didn't live anywhere close to me that I knew of, but they were other entrepreneurs who they're very in their power as a woman, and they don't listen to the common advice for pregnancy and child rearing. And I remember thinking like, I'm not going to say much of anything to people about my pregnancy or my choices, but I am going to have a naturopathic pregnancy. I'm going for it. And I
Mhm.
remember with my first baby, Sloan, I was so guarded because people just want to. I mean, tell me in the chat if you have experienced this. As soon as you get pregnant, it feels like all the internet trolls come out of the woodwork, and every seemingly helpful auntie wants to come and tell you how horrible pregnancy is and how horrible the labor is going to be. And they all tell you, they like relive their trauma of their birth
Yeah.
and their pregnancy and their child rearing and all this stuff, and you're just like this first time mom, and you're just like staring at them into the abyss of their trauma, going like, I did not ask for you to tell me this. So when I got pregnant with Sloan, I kind of silenced a lot of the noise and got really intentional to only hang out with people that I felt were empowering for me on this journey. And that was when Dr. Lauren and I got really close.
Yeah.
So we started just meeting up because we're like 20 minutes apart, and we would almost, I would say at least 5 days a week, we would just meet up and go for these long walks, like 5 miles, some days 7 miles. And I was pregnant, and we would just go out and walk, just friends out on a walk. And
Mhm.
we would talk about business. We would talk about how her company was starting to shape because she had gone through and gotten her, degree to be a doctor of naturopathy, and I was building businesses. So she would kind of tell me just some things that were progressing in her business first year, and I would be like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't quite sound right. Like, I really want to help you grow your company. Like there's so much more that you could be doing. And so I was kind of giving her little bits of advice here and there about business. And then I was telling her, like, this is what's happening in the pregnancy, this is what's happening with my stress level, this is what's happening with my thoughts for the baby. And we probably talked about the natural birth process and all this stuff at least like a couple times a week, because I was just curious. I mean, it was my first baby and I wanted to home birth. And I didn't dare say that on the internet because the trolls would just come after you. That's not safe. What are you doing? Da 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 da. Meanwhile, Dr. Lauren was like homeopathic, and she had her first babies at the hospital, and then she home birthed. She knew all these natural remedies. She was giving me valid advice on how to make the pregnancy easier, how to make the birth easier. So this was like my experience of, I was basically her client, but she wasn't charging me to be her client at that time. She was the person who gave me like probably 70% of the guts to have my baby at home and believe that I could do it, because she was always telling me like, yeah, this is what it's like and this is what's possible. You like this and this and this is what's going to happen. And I knew what to expect, so I wasn't scared. And
Mhm.
nobody who got in my ear could like scare me about it anymore. So she was the one encouraging me to continue my path to be more of the naturopathic mom that I wanted to be in a really informed and smart way. And on the side, like I was like, okay, more people need you. Like you, I can't keep you all to myself. More people need to know this information. Like you've got to go public. You've got to build a brand. You've got to get out there. So that was like how many years? That's 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. This is like the last almost 5 years that we've been doing life together.
Wow.
That's long.
Yeah, that's long.
And more than ever, I think people need to know what you have to say.
Yeah. I believe in and see it more than I've ever had before.
What did you used to think when I would be like, girl, everyone needs to hear you talk about this? Like, what was that like for you?
I was like, how? How do I do this and not look like a fool? Like, I don't know what to say. I felt like that was the major thing because I've been just in my hometown helping people, mostly for free, but and I was like, yeah, I love doing this, but how? And that's,
And
I mean, you gave me the belief for that. Like, to believe in myself, to get on the internet, to speak my voice, speak my passion, to see. I mean, I've always had this deep desire to see like disease turn in the world, in our nation, in the world. And it breaks my heart to see people sick. It
wow.
breaks my heart when I see the C word. My family just got a diagnosis of cancer. Like it breaks my heart to see that stuff.
Mm.
And I'm like, it's not your destiny. You don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to. It's a 100% preventable disease. All of them are.
See, this is why I'm obsessed with this lady. So you gave me the belief, honestly, to pursue my dreams of a more naturopathic, not only child, birth experience, but then how I raised my girls. Dr. Lauren had a course on like how to make your kids baby food, because
Yeah.
Dr. Lauren's really into gut health and like feeding your family the ingredients that promote health, basically. And so I remember I had baby Sloan and I was committed that I wanted to breastfeed her for at least a year. That was my thing. And in that time frame, like obviously babies start eating at some point, and I just wanted to commit to myself that I was going to give her the best start that I could possibly give her gut health wise. And so Dr. Lauren even had a course back then on like what order to start your foods for your baby, like what to feed them at what age and how to prepare it to set up their gut health. Like she's that in depth with it. So I remember buying that course and learning. Yeah, and the gut is the second brain, so it helps them mentally. And people are always like, "Your kids are so sharp." And I'm like, "Yeah, they are, but we are so cognizant about what we feed them, and that helped with Dr. Lauren." Yeah. So, okay, tell me your locked and loaded journey, because obviously you went the path of becoming a doctor. I went the path of entrepreneurship. We were like running those paths like congruently side by side. You helped me get braver about my health, and I was talking to you about business. So tell us your locked and loaded story.
So locked and loaded. That was basically started in 2022. And I was on the fence. I'm like, what should I do? Should I go to the highest level one or should I do a locked and loaded? And we actually went for a walk and I told you all the things that were going through my head. And
About the investment, because we had
yeah,
different tiers back then. We had like a super high ticket one, and then we had locked and loaded that was like more mid range. So she was kind of deciding which thing do I join of yours.
and then I said, okay. I decided, me and my husband, we talked about it. We're like, okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. And jumped into Locked and Loaded in 2022. And it opened my eyes. It first of all, like, yes, you gave me the belief, but it gave me the plan, like the actual plan. Because remember, I'm like, how do I do this? And I knew at that moment that I needed to hire a mentor. I needed someone to help guide me through this because I didn't know what I was doing. And so the entire Locked and Loaded journey in 2022 really gave me a really solid foundation to start building upon. And connecting with all the other entrepreneurial women in the community, giving me advice and helping me along the way. And just the entire, one thing I really like, I love how you have it laid out. Like, you start in the very beginning, get your year down, right? Like, plan it out, plan your year out. And then the sequence just is amazing going through it. And okay, I got the foundation down in 2022. 2022 ended. And I was like, I feel like I still need more strategy.
Cool.
Like, I wanted more strategy because yes, you have to lay the foundation, but then you have to really implement. And man, you took it up a notch for 2023. I am so glad. I was like, what? This like took it up a notch, girl. And now today I'm just like, okay, I have the strategy. I know what to do. And like, I feel like I'm finally blowing up inside. Like, I see, how you're like, you have faith that something's going to happen, like you're going to grow. You just have the faith, but then you can see it.
Yeah.
I see it now.
Yeah.
We took that first step in 2022, like, to have the faith, but now I see it. And I feel like that's the difference between last year and this year.
So I'm curious, before you came into our mastermind, because I remember a lot of long walks, and we won't spill the tea on this, but you're frustrated in business. What did it feel like to have gotten your degree and be trying to build a company without the strategy bones to it? Like, what did that feel like your first year without a mastermind?
Oh, Lord.
Oh Lord. I remember hearing you talk about this on our walks, and I would just be like, girl, that is not how business is supposed to feel, honey. So what did it feel like?
It's like pulling teeth that won't come out. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It was hard. It was hard. Um, I just felt like I didn't know what to do, like what path to take.
Mhm.
And yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. I just, back then I was doing like, you'd see all these things on the internet. It's like, okay, do these dancing videos and point and do all this stuff. Like, I'm doing this stuff and I'm like, nothing is happening. Like, it's not happening. What?
I
You can't just,
remember I remember you doing like really fandangled things with your website and stuff. And I was like, the things that you're spending so much time on are not financially fruitful. Like, it's not
mm,
getting you more clients. Like, what
yeah,
are we doing out here? And I felt like you were always in meetings with not clients, but like people to like build the company more, and it
yeah,
just wasn't landing. And I was like, no, like, let's get you on social media. Let's actually do a sequence. Let's get you profitable. Like, let's go. So,
yeah.
okay, you had said your first year in Locked and Loaded, because you're a year two, which a portion of our clients stay after the year, and I think is beautiful, because that first year, like Dr. Lauren says, you like really build a foundation, and then you can stay as long as you want to refine, or you can graduate. Doesn't matter to me. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm flattered if you stay. I love that. But you're in year two. What was the difference, in your opinion, between year one Locked and Loaded, which was $1 million year for us, and we taught people everything that we made, that like everything that took us to 1 million in 2022, that's what we taught people in Locked and Loaded.
Yeah.
What is your difference between 2022 Locked and Loaded versus 2023 Locked and Loaded Mastermind?
I feel like 2022, and it might just be me. It might not just be locked and loaded. But back to the foundational pieces. Like I was just getting a grasp of business
Okay.
and understanding. And I feel like I took 10 times more action that was fruitful in 2023. So, that's what I feel like. It's so funny.
Okay, and let's talk finance without spilling all of your numbers. Did you break even on your mastermind payment? Did you double your income? What happened since Locked and Loaded?
I forgot what I paid for last year. But anyway, I 4x'd my income from
Oh,
2 years ago.
oh, excuse me, can you say it again?
Four four times my income.
She four extra income since before she joined Locked and Loaded.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I definitely made it back. I made it back.
Yes. Yes. See, this is the stuff that people want to know about Locked and Loaded. They're like, I'm so scared to join. And I'm like, I know, but what's scarier is making the same amount of money as you're making right now in the next 2 to 4 years. That's scarier, friend. So I'm so happy that you joined. I'm
I
so
mean,
happy.
this year I was able to hire a team to help me. Like that was to take some things off my plate because I knew I was, I knew I needed help. I knew I needed support to do what I want to do. I knew I needed the support to do it. So
Yes. Did you hear that she has a team? Ow. Okay. What where do you feel like you were like skill wise and offers wise as a naturopath when you walked in to Locked and Loaded?
oh, skill wise in business,
Yep.
in the very beginning, like
Okay.
not much skills in business. Um, and wait, what was the second question? You said
Like
what
offers wise, because one of the
offers?
big things that we focus on like a sequence instead of Locked and Loaded, and it's including things like your audience growth, your copywriting, your social media strategy, creating valid offers. So
Mhm.
did you walk in and already have all these selling offers, or like what's the vibe when you walked in?
I was in the beginning, so all I had is the one-on-one. Like I didn't really, I pretty much operated like a doctor's office over, you go, you see them for the visit and then they come back. And I didn't really like that. I didn't feel like my clients were getting what they needed from just a one-off visit.
Girl, talk about it.
Like you can't transform your health. You can't reverse a diagnosis with one appointment. And
Yep.
so you help like Locked and Loaded helped me like create the client journey, the things that have to happen in order for your health to be transformed. It's not going to happen in a one-off appointment.
Listen, if you're live right now, can you just put a hashtag and write client journey? It's a client journey. It's a client journey. It's like when people come to me, you didn't get to where you are financially in a day. So you need a client journey to steer your ship in a different direction. You didn't get that health diagnosis in a day. It takes more than a 1 hour appointment to shift your health trajectory. So there's a client journey that's available. You want to walk with people to actually get the result. Okay, so let's talk about where we are today, because now, since being in Locked and Loaded, you've developed an entire consultancy. You have something called Doc on Demand, which I saw that as the vision for a hot minute. I knew, okay, as somebody who had walked around, literally, I had walked around the town with Dr. Lauren for years, and she had been imparting wisdom and information to me, and micro shifts about my health and my pregnancies and what supplements to take and what things to try with my babies. And it was over the course of like over a year. You're pregnant for almost 10 months. So, and I did that with her twice. Like she was just imparting wisdom to me, and it took time. So there was a journey there. And there's no way that I could have gotten all of that in a 1 hour conversation, right?
Mhm.
So Dr. Lauren doesn't just service people here in Georgia, but she does everything virtually. So she talks to clients all over the world and she helps them through virtual conversations. And we created a client journey called Doc on Demand. Can you talk about this space, please? Because this is where I think people don't understand your company yet, but they need to.
Mhm. Yes, Doc on Demand, the natural way. Yes. I have to add that in there because I don't want you to feel like I'm gonna everything's medically minded. Like this is the natural way. This is for long-term sustainable health.
Yeah.
And so the journey, I mean, like how do you what do you mean with like the journey? Like exactly like what I take my clients through?
Yeah, because okay,
Like,
so I benefited because I was a pregnant mom when we became friends, like really started deepening our friendship several years ago. And so I like would have these conversations and it was ongoing tweaks. So now clients who join Doc on Demand, it's like they literally have a naturopath in their pocket that they can talk to. But what is it like? I don't think people understand what the journey is.
okay, so when you first come and you join Doc on Demand, we
Yeah.
start off like an orientation, so you understand like what you actually get with your membership, right?
And how long is the membership?
It's a year-long
There's
membership, and it renews annually until it doesn't, right? But it renews annually, and then so it starts off with orientation. So you know what's included. What's included is like the protocol library. You get access to all the protocols that I've written up, plus
pause.
access.
Pause. When she says the protocol library, you have to know what this thing is. So, Doc on Demand, there is a Facebook group for it, there's a website for it. But say it's like the middle of the night and you start to get a tickle in your throat and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to go on a trip. I cannot get sick right now. Same thing with your kids or your husband or whoever's in your household. You literally go and you put your symptom in the search bar. And Dr. Lauren has written naturopathic protocols like take this, the natural way, this
Mhm.
dosage, XYZ. Like it's already written out. So you don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to like schedule time. You can literally go through her protocol library and get the write up for how to address and curb something naturally. And if there's not a protocol already written for it, you can request.
Yes.
That is wild. For those of you who are watching live, have you ever even heard of such a thing from a naturopath?
I haven't. I wish I had a me back then, back when I was learning all this and walking this journey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's so funny. Haley's live and she said, oh, she deleted it, but it said something like it's nature's WebMD.
Oh,
It's so cool. Okay, so that's just one feature of being a doc on demand client. You've got access 24/7 to this like pool of resources that you can just go type in what's going on and there's a protocol. Okay, what else happens when they join lock or join doc on demand?
all right. So you get access to the protocol library, and then there's a sequence of courses. So you have to start in the beginning.
Yes. It's a
It
sequence.
this huh?
It's a sequence. They got
Yes,
to
it's a
start.
sequence. So
Yeah.
you have to start in the beginning. You have to build that foundation. And I really love like how you sequenced out Locked and Loaded because I feel like that helped me sequence out Doc on Demand the natural way. So there's a sequence. And so you have to start at the foundation because a
Yes.
lot of people just want to go straight and chase a symptom. But there's a foundational root cause to why you're dealing with what you're dealing with. And we have to start there.
Yeah.
So it's all in order, all in sequence. And you want me to go into the depths of it? So you think I should go in the depths of it
Give
right
me
now?
the first three.
Okay. So of course it starts with your food, right?
Yeah.
Like what you're putting in on your body. It starts there. So you have to start there. And then we can build upon that. And I tweak it. So I personalize it. So you have access to do one-on-one with me inside of Doc on Demand. I don't do one-on-ones anymore because, like I said in the beginning, like I didn't see the fruit of it, but I see the fruit of one-on-ones once you're inside of Doc on Demand, because we're going through a journey and I know you're going to get the results that you want at the end of it because you're going through the journey.
Yep.
Like most people don't change everything overnight, right?
So question about even the food part, because that's so daunting. It's so daunting when you're not aware of ingredients. So what do you do? Do you have like shopping lists? Do you walk through the store and show people what to buy? Do you show people how to look for ingredients? Like what is it?
Yes, all of the above. So literally the food course, just Eat to Live Simplified, that actually walks you through the ingredients, what to look for on the back of your labels, what the hidden ingredients that you think are okay, but that are not.
Seed oils, mother. Sorry. Sneaky seed oils.
It's so crazy. The ingredient, just think about y'all's pickles, like.
I was so horrified. Okay, so Dr. Lauren came over for my daughter's birthday because our girls like to play, obviously. And so we were having our grass-fed, expensive, hamburgers with avocado and gluten-free buns and all the things, thinking we were so cool. And Dr. Lauren, as always, like I'm gonna tell you, this lady will literally like just demolish your belief that you have done it right in 2 seconds. I love the woman, but honestly, she's like, are these pickles organic? And I was like, no. Like, why would I have organic? No. And she's like, oh, okay, can I just read the label? She like picks up the big ass pickle jar, which is like a gallon of pickles because we buy them in bulk. And she flips it around. She said, oh, it's got yellow dye. I was like, why? I thought that my house was dye free for like the last 5 years. Who would think to look for yellow dye in pickles? Why are we dyeing the pickles? I was mortified. I was so pissed off because there's now a gallon of pickles in my fridge. And not only do I feel horrible because my grandmother would be rolling over her grave if I like throw away that much food, but also at the same time I'm like, I have been literally giving my kids food coloring since in the womb and I didn't know. I was so pissed off about these freaking pickles. But Dr. Lauren always catches this stuff. She comes to my house and she'll be like, oh, can I just read the label? Fail. No, just kidding. She doesn't say fail. But she's like, did you know this is in here? And I'm like, no, I thought it was healthy. No, girl. Anyways.
That's what I run into. Most people think they're healthy. They don't really know what healthy means. They don't know. And
I was doing so good.
Huh?
I thought I was doing so good.
But people think I'm crazy. I read everything. I read all them labels. I'm like, not trust this food industry, y'all. We can't.
So we start with the food. The food is number one, and you have a very structured way of like, okay, this is what to look for. Don't buy this. If it has this, don't buy it. What happens after food?
So we work on the food, then we start reducing what in our homes. Because listen, what we're eating, what's in our environment, our homes, this is affecting our health. We've got to reduce the I call it reducing the toxic load. We got to reduce it, right? Yes. Then we're going to, okay, so we hit the food, we're reducing the toxic load. Now what we have to like, okay, what's going on inside of our bodies? What does our life, our daily habits look like for health, for longevity? And then we work on like building those habits, and everyone's different. Everybody likes different things. Everybody's not going to do the same thing. All my clients, they do different things based off of their personal preference, right? Then we move through a detox. Now we reduce the toxic load. A lot of people want to jump into a detox, but they haven't reduced it. So they just have to keep doing detoxes for the rest of their life, right?
Can we just hang on to that for a second? Everybody wants to detox, but then they continue to eat the stuff that made them how they are right now. They don't get rid of the toxins in their house. And so they do a detox, but the detox can't work because you're still putting in toxins nonstop.
Yeah.
So you have to detox correctly. Listen, this is mind-blowing information to people who haven't thought about it, but like the cycle has to stop somewhere for a detox to even work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just gonna stop her right there. That's just the beginning of working with Dr. Lauren. And I want to say something interesting. So Dr. Lauren was one of our featured expert speakers at Clear to Soar. You know, I have this desire to help people to build their companies to really good places and to create reputable results for clients, and then also to give them a platform for more clients to find them, which was part of the dream of Clear to Soar, was having my clients speak on stage. And so Dr. Lauren was one of our guest experts who was on the panel. I caramba, I caramba.
Okay.
And I think what happened was, after people saw you on stage, everyone and their mother wanted to book a private one-to-one with you to have a single appointment and see if they could address all of their health concerns in an hour with you. And after that, you came to me and you're like, I don't know what to do with this because I don't even offer single one-to-ones because it doesn't get to the root of things. I wish all these people would join and just become members of Doc on Demand so that I could get them real results. And so my question to you is, so if someone has like hypertension, is it a good fit for them to do Doc on Demand?
Yeah, 100%. Because first we have to find out the root. Like
Yeah.
your high blood pressure is a symptom of something else. So we got to find out what that is. And I don't know that unless I really get to know your life, your lifestyle, what you do on a daily basis. Like inside of Doc on Demand, we do tracking. I like to see what's happening over a period of time. And that's the only way I can truly help you is I
Okay.
have, because I don't want to be the type. Now I could be like, hey, go take this. It would lower your blood pressure naturally, but guess what? You're not getting to the root. You're still going to have to deal with this for the rest of your life. So I like to work with people who want to get healthy. I like to work with people who want to reverse their diagnoses.
Yeah.
I like to work with people who want to establish a foundation of health in their life that actually influences the people around them. I'm here for generational wellness. That's what I'm here for. I want to see you healthy. I want to see your family healthy and everyone around you.
So let me just list off, because there's people who are like, I have chronic pain. Dr. Lauren, is Doc on Demand a good spot for me?
Yes.
Okay. I have if somebody says they have pre-diabetes and they want to reverse it, is Doc on Demand a good spot for that person?
100.
Okay. They want to lose weight and they want to do it the natural route. Are you a good spot for them?
Yes.
They want to have a holistic pregnancy and potentially prepare their body for a healthier generation. Are you a good spot for them?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
They have little kids, they're in the postpartum season, or they have kids under 5 and they want to reduce because it's sniffle season. They're going into cough and cold season. They don't want to put their kids on a crap ton of antibiotics or sit in an office all winter at the hospital. Are you a good spot for them?
Yes.
Great. So them and their husband are now empty nesters and they want to have a better quality of life. They're maybe having some chronic pain, maybe they're having some gut issues. They want to prevent any future illnesses. Is Doc on Demand a good spot for them?
Yep.
Okay. See, are you guys seeing the light? This woman helps so many different people with like just reversing where they are in their health and going back onto a healthier journey, but it doesn't happen in a single phone call, which is why she does Doc on Demand. Yeah. So this is the thing that I think is pretty cool about her space. And this is something that she's developed since being in Locked and Loaded, our mastermind, is that she's created a year-long journey for clients to become her, I want to say, like, special project. And this is what I mean. You become one of her clients for Doc on Demand, and you get a one-to-one call to start your journey. And on that one-to-one call, she suggests a protocol of movement. She might say, go watch these 2 classes. This is what I'm going to recommend that we start you on to get you on the right path. And then every single month for a year, you have touch points with her where you guys make tweaks.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have an appointment and then you guys never talk to each other again. You have an appointment, she gives you directives, and then what do the touch points look like?
So we have weekly touch points and monthly touch points. So, and I love this time because it helps me, especially, well, so Doc on Demand Plus, it's the highest level support that I currently offer. In that, we do weekly touch points, right? And during those touch points, I'm looking at, okay, where are the shifts? What has changed from last week? Where do you need to tweak things in your plan for the following week, so we can help you get the results that you desire, right? And then in Doc on Demand, which is the basic package. It's kind of like a mid-level, but that one we do VIP monthly Q&As.
Yeah.
And during that time, you bring everything to me, everything.
Yeah, because not everybody wants a weekly touch point. There's people who are like, that's way too much. I don't want to do all that. But like, if you could get started with a naturopath and they could say, okay, this is what I'm prescribing for you for your first month with me, go do this. And then the next month, you literally have a whole VIP session with this doctor that you can say, okay, I made the tweaks and changes. I have a question about this. This part doesn't seem like it's working. This gave me more symptoms. Is this normal? What's happening? What would you suggest? And
Right.
every single month you're getting like tweaks to your protocol to refine it and get the results that you're after over the course of a year with you and your family.
Yes. The
Girl,
whole family.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think that's the missing people. People think they're coming for themselves. No, this is for your whole family. Let's get your whole family healthy.
Yep. Yep. I'm a Doc on Demand client. Very, very, very proud to say it. And I'm so happy that I did it because I've used the appointments for my little girls. It's a vibe. Yeah. So I'm curious, since you're one of our expert panel speakers at Clear to Soar, what was that experience like for you?
Ooh. It was nerve-wracking at first.
Did anyone who was watching live see her on stage?
Yeah, I was super nervous, but it was an amazing experience. Just I've spoke before people before, but it was just it's a different vibe when you're like on stage and being recorded and all the things. Like it was really it was an eye-opening experience for me. After it was really interesting. People were coming up to me, and I feel like I don't know, I just felt like, man, this was just another step of getting the message of health out to people. It was just it was another step. And I know it's like, what I said in the beginning, like I can see it.
Yep.
I can see it now. Like I can see that people need what I'm speaking about. People need a transformed health in their lives, and they need answers.
Yeah.
And yeah, so thank you for that experience.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You gave your keynote on stage and I was so proud. We had like a good month or so of prep work beforehand, just refining your talk and getting you ready for stage. And, this is really what I stand for with entrepreneurs is getting out there with a really refined message and making an impact. Because I think sometimes we underestimate who needs our services or who's really looking for what we have to offer. And so we can talk ourselves out of going big with a brand. But then when you decide that you're going to take your content and turn it into something, viable for people, and you start to be passionate and take your refined message out there, and then people are flocking and going like, I've been looking for a person like you my entire life. It just validates everything that you're dreaming of, you know?
Mhm.
I had people behind the scenes after you gave your keynote that were like, I've literally been looking for a Dr. Lauren my whole life. And I was like, me too. And now you have one. Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So I've got a question just to wrap out because I have a client call in like 6 minutes, because it's Labor Day and your girl works on Labor Day. That's how we got Labor Day as working people. Anyways, um, my question for you is if you could tell anyone who's on the fence about Locked and Loaded anything that might tip the scales for them, what would you say?
Do it. Like, make the investment and invest in Locked and Loaded. Like I can't even explain what's happened inside of me, and happened inside of like my business because of Locked and Loaded. Like, it's so hard to actually verbally say that, but you've heard like what's happened. I just say make the move. If you are contemplating it, just do it. It's worth every single penny. It's worth every single moment, that the time you invest in building your business. Like, you are not going to get your voice out there unless you know how to, unless you have the strategy to do it. Because yes, I had the skills, but I didn't have the strategy. And that's what Locked and Loaded gave me. It gave me a clear roadmap and strategy for this. And I had faith in myself, but now I can see it. Like, I will say that over and over again. I can see it and I feel it within myself. Like, this is happening. And I'm so grateful.
I am too. Oh my gosh. And you already exceeded your last year's income this year. Already, it's done. It was like
Yeah.
halfway through the year.
Yeah.
You're set for another record breaking year in your company. It's just so exciting to watch it all happen and see more people find you. So, speaking of finding you, if someone wants to work with you inside of Doc on Demand, because they now know that this is a huge service that you offer, what do you have available right now for year end? Like, do you have space inside of your premium Locked and Loaded? Do you have, or not Locked and Loaded, your premium Doc on Demand? How many people do you have space for in your regular Doc on Demand? Like, what's the vibe right now?
Okay. For the premium, the Doc on Demand Plus, I have 2 remaining spots for families.
And would that be for like someone who really wants to go hard in the paint? That's every single week you have a touch point with them and their family.
Yes.
Perfect.
Everyone. And for Doc on Demand, the basic package, that one I have 20 spots available.
Okay.
So yeah.
Amazing. All right. So if they want to, well, I'm just going to address my people who are watching right now. If you
Mhm.
want to connect with Dr. Lauren, you can message her here. If you only have my info, you can DM me. If you are not friends yet with Dr. Lauren, you can DM me. My team will connect you. What I want to say is I'm a very happy person that I leaned into Dr. Lauren's expertise for the last several years of my life. There's no one that I would recommend better. This lady has been the person that I've, texted and called when I needed help as her client. I'm happy to say I pay for my services now, but even back when I was a friend, she just helped me. And now we've tightened those boundaries up, which is good. And I'm happy to say that she's the person that I pay to reach out to now and say, like, hey, I'm having this symptom and I have help. I have someone in my back pocket who will help me. I have a protocol library that I can search for if Dr. Lauren's not available. There's VIP days that as I accrue questions throughout the month, I can kind of document my questions and I can take them to Dr. Lauren and say, like, hey, I'm noticing this in my kid, or I kind of want to do, something different around this area of my life. What would you suggest? Or I'm feeling a pain in my body. What do you think it could be? Right. And so I'm so happy to be her client. If you want to connect with her and become one of her Doc on Demand, the natural way clients, you can message me, you can message her. And I couldn't be more proud to bring one of my closest, best, biz baddies to the
Mm,
planet.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think my team is watching. They could put a link too for Doc on Demand if they want to look more. So
Get it, team. All
you
right.
pop a link in the comments.
Pop a link, babes. Pop a
Reach,
link.
reach out to me if you have any questions. And thank you so much, Xtina, for this opportunity.
I love you. I'm so happy. All right,
Love
guys, we're going to pop off. I'll be back again this month. I'm just going to be introducing you to my biz baddies. Again, these are women who I've been, clients of. They have amazing services, and I just want to make sure that the world knows about them. So we'll be back with more of this. This is episode 2 of the Biz Baddies with Dr. Lauren. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Love it.
Bye.